Hi, hope you are enjoying Demuxed 2021 so far. I'm here to share some of our experience in producing live VR streams. My name is Behnam, and I've been doing video streaming stuff since 2010. And currently, I am video R&D lead engineer at The Evolution. A quick word on The Evolution. Evolution is the leading provider of live casino with more than 800 live games operating globally 24/7. As part of our portfolio, we recently added a game which has a VR live mode into it. And the content of this talk are based on the experiences that we gain in producing this game. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now that you decided that you want to do live VR streaming, there are certain things that you have to keep in mind. And it all starts at the scene where you are capturing your video. And these things have a big impact on down the line on the final video. The first thing is that please try to avoid having fast-moving objects in real world, especially in real world content. They can make the users easily uncomfortable and maybe give them motion sickness as well. And also make sure that there is enough light in the scene. And I cannot stress enough that when there's dark scene, the chances are that your camera can generate noises on the sensor. And these noises can become very problematic down the line. They become very visible and they distract users. Especially if you're doing chroma keying, any lighting flaws can have big impact, which usually are not very visible in a flat, regular video. We have the same version of the game in regular stream versus the VR, and there are certain things that we notice after we compare them side by side, and so that many of the unnoticeable and almost invisible artifacts and the flaws are becoming very prominent in the VR stream. Next, experiment with the camera placement. Find the best angle that creates a relatable and comfortable video for the users down the line. Speaking of the cameras, there are certain questions that you have to answer. Do you want to do it stereoscopic, monoscopic? Do you want to do the video in 180 or 360? The answer to this question have impact on your choice of camera. With the stereoscopic, you will capture slightly the same image from slightly different angles. And for that, you will need multiple cameras. It will provide a 3D effect to the users, and it will give a pretty good immersive experience. But it requires very careful planning and execution. It's easier to make it very uncomfortable and give motion sickness to the users with the stereoscopic image if it's not executed properly. On the other hand, you could use monoscopic. That means that just display the same image to both eyes. For that, you can use a regular camera. You don't need any special type of cameras. For example, we are using Sigma FP with fisheye lens. Of course, the immersive experience will be less, but it is still very powerful and effective. The immersion is still present very much there. It will simplify your studio and scene setup. And the final video can be used outside of the VR ecosystem as well as it is simply a flat, regular video. As for the 180 argument between 180 degrees versus 360, it's been said that the human's head turning is around maximum 200 degrees, with comfortable range being around 150 degrees. And usually everything happens only on one side of the scene. So and your users are going to focus only on one side. And as per our experience, usually users start experiencing the whole 360 degrees of area just for the first few minutes, and they will be focused on one direction afterwards. So it may be worth going for 180 instead of 360. And 180 degrees will give you higher pixel density at the same resolution, which will have a big impact on the quality. As for the resolution, when we are talking about the resolution, there are two things that you have to bear in mind in the VR ecosystem. One is the field of view, usually horizontal field of view, and the other one is the resolution per eye. And these things are different on different devices. For example, Oculus Quest 2 provides 104 degree of horizontal view at the resolution of 1832 by 1920. Please bear in mind that that's the biggest number. I mean, that's the largest number. The distance between the eye and the actual eyepiece of the VR headset has big impact on that. And that regularly the numbers are a little bit lower than that. Your goal is that to have a resolution in the visible part of the video inside the eyepiece, which is larger or equal at the minimum to the display resolution of that eyepiece inside the VR headset. If it is a smaller, the upscaling will happen. There will be loss of sharpness. It's like that you're watching an HD 1080 video on a 4K display. There will be loss of quality there. For example, in our case, we are using a 4K flat monoscopic input, and we are putting it in a 360 degree, and the resolution that we are getting per eye is 860 by 920, and you see that it is a lot smaller than the resolution of per eye of these devices, these example devices. Our recommendation is that for the monoscopic video, use the minimum of 4K. Below that will be a lot, will provide a very bad quality, perception of quality, and go for 180 degrees. As for the encoding, AV1 or perhaps any other next generation codec, new generation codecs may be the answer because you are using the higher resolution. But the fact is that if you are using RTMP on your backend for delivering the video, then you will be out of luck to deliver almost any of this next generation codecs. But the good news is that still you can use H.264 and it will provide an acceptable performance up to 4K. Of course, it is depending, the bitrate is dependent on the type of content. For us, we started experimenting with 25 megabit per second at 4K video, but we lowered it to 15 megabit per second without considerable loss of quality. And you should consider that most of the video on our part consists of animated content. So again, the quality, the bitrate depends on your content, so you have to experiment on that. If possible, you can apply some denoiser filter on it. It will help reducing those very annoying noises on the picture. And as for the frame rate, again, per our experience, 50 frames per second would be the base minimum that will provide a very good, smooth experience to the user. If you can do higher, the better. On the testing, now that you have the stream ready, what you should do, you should of course test and see the quality. For that, do not trust flat screens. Even the latest, best flat monitors, they don't provide you with the exact image that you will see on the VR headset. So test it on as many headsets as possible as you have around you, and then decide on the quality of the picture and adjustment. And a physical adjustment to the headset has big impact. As said, the distance between the eye and the display creates a huge difference in angle of view, in the field of view that you will see and the resolution that you're seeing. So make sure that you are seeing the best quality that is possible. And VR headsets are not very kind to your eyes, and my suggestion is that if you are testing them for a long time, please give your eyes frequent and long rests. Be kind to your eyes. And final word is that the goal of this talk was to actually encourage you to start experimenting with the VR. It shouldn't be that hard. You can simplify it by using a monoscopic view, doing it in 180 degrees instead of 360, and use current codecs, containers, and the protocols to deliver the video. It shouldn't be that hard. Experiment with it and you will learn a lot, and hopefully you will share it with us as well. Thank you very much.